Alright, so yesterday I showed you how to make this. I'm gonna make a few more cards, so I figured why not record it. I don't know if this is that helpful, but I usually learn things by watching people, so I want to be doing it anyways. So why not record it and let people use it? I'm in the request a card channel. I think I'm gonna do these two, the Talo and Sizzlipede. And I also want to do transparent walls, I think, because I don't think that is in. Let's see. Yeah, no. Okay. So let's start with Taylor. I will just say I'm doing it. Then I will find the card. Oops. How do you spell that? That's two L's. This is from Destined Rivals. So, oh, here we go. I'm just gonna create it. TS. I think this can be a fine reference. Boom. Make a Talo, colorless, 60 HP. Weak to lightning. We are resistant to fighting, but minus 30. Retreat. It's a single colorless attack, wing attack. Don't need a second attack, so I'm going to cut that. It is number 156 in the set. This can be DRI, because that's the set code. That's going to be Talo. The other thing that is easy to forget if you're using an old card for reference is the regulation mark, which is not going to look like that. It's just going to be I. Boom. Oops. It's going to be like that. And then since this has no effect, that's it. And then you'll clean up their imports here. Like that. And before I forget, I will index it here. Let me see if I try to do them in alphabetical order. Sometimes it's like it's definitely super messed up in the imports, and at that point, like, there's only so much I can do. I'm just gonna put it with the T's, cause whatever. Yeah, I'll go there. And then that should be it. Just waiting for this. There we go. Tilo, boom, there it is. And I'm actually going to add it. I usually make a list here. These are all the cards I've added for the next update. I'm going to add it to this. You won't have to do that. That's just something I give Joe for the change logs. I'll like export it and then he'll throw that in the change logs. We also did Brock Zubat. I didn't add that in here, so I'm going to do that. Let's also do this. So what is this from? Temporal Forces. I'm just gonna copy off Charmander again because it's there. That's gonna be fire. Fires are, if you aren't familiar. There's a few other weird ones. I think it's just like fairy is Y, dragon is N. I think the rest are all just like the first letter of the thing, of the type. This is 80 HP. Oops, 80. It's weak to water, I'm assuming. Yeah. 2 resistance, no, or sorry, 2 retreat, no resistance, so that we don't even need to add it here. The attack is going to be cost of fire. It's going to be heat and dive, I think, right? Yeah. It's going to do 30, and then 10 to itself. Oops, did I copy that right? Let's see. There. And again, we don't need a second attack. TEF, set code number 36. Don't forget the regulation mark. This isn't I don't think. Nope. That was H. This, I think technically I should be using after attack. We haven't set up the damage to itself thing for that yet, and I'm going to go back through and update them all to use the after attack, because right now I don't think it'll work. Like, I could probably get it working somehow, but I'm not going to right now. Sorry, so it does damage to itself. And there's a prefab for it here somewhere. I think it's this one. Store. State. Effect. 10. Yeah. And then we don't need this stuff in the imports. And that is it. Oh, we gotta wait for this. There we go. We didn't index it. I do that all the time. This one's nice and organized. Love that. Sizzlepede is right here, I think. HRJK, yeah. It'll be right there. Oops. Alright, so transparent walls is going to be next. This one, I'm going to show you like basics of how markers work. I kind of mentioned it last time with Badoo. And this is going to be like extremely similar. But yeah, this one's going to need some testing for sure. So let's see. Oh, we were adding Sizzlepede. There it is. Nice. And these ones are simple enough that I'll test them out later, but I'm sure they're fine. It's literally just like 2 prefabs, so didn't really have to do anything, and the rest of this looks good, so it should be good. Transparent walls. This one is from Gym Challenge. So let's find Gym Challenge. There it is. Oops. Walls. I think I might copy Goop. Goop gas attack is similar, where the markers are removed at the end of the opponent's turn, and that's what we want. So I'm gonna, since I already figured that out here, I'm gonna use that. Yeah, as you are able to reference more and more cards, like know which ones are ones that are good to reference, it'll be extremely helpful. I don't think it's GC, I think it's G1. Okay. Number 125. So I think we need only one of these markers because, yeah, this was, wait, is that true? Oh, I think it only uses one marker. Okay. That must have been from the way I did it before, and then it was broken, and so I had to redo it, and I just used one marker, so it's fine. We're only going to add it to the player. So this is saying, if when we use the trainer, we're gonna, yeah, sorry. When we use it, we're gonna add a marker. This is just the prefab for that. To this player. This is just the name of the marker, and then we're gonna move this to the discard. So. Because it will go to the player's like supporter thing on the board by default. I guess I can't really show it right now, but I will show you later. And then I'll go to the discard. It'll probably just go straight to the discard because this is going to take a split second to process. So then what are we going to do here? Okay, so this right here is just to remove the markers. So we're gonna fix this to be only the player. And we do want it to be that. Owner. Okay, so let's do it like this. So if there's an end turn effect, if the play, okay, I see what's happening. Let's do it like this. So if there's an end turn effect, effect.player is saying like the player whose end turn it is. So we want this to be equal to the opponent, because it'll be at the end of your opponent's next turn. This will get removed. So after their turn, or if there's an end turn effect, and it is for the opponent, is what this is saying, then we'll remove the marker from not player, actually. Wait. We'll remove the marker from the opponent, which is going to be the player. This always makes me think for a sec. Hold on. No, I think this is right. Because effect.player, we're removing it from the opponent. We'll test, figure it out then. I know it's probably not complicated at all, but jumbles me up a little bit. Alright, so for this part where we're actually doing something, I'm going to see if I can copy something else. This does prevent all damage from attacks to your bench Pokemon. So this is similar to Manaphy, or what's another one? Like Mew? Bench Barrier Mew? I forget what it is, what set it is. Let's look it up. Bench, or let me do here. Bench Barrier Or mime, yeah. I think it would be this one, so UNB is what it's in. This guy. So we're really just going to copy this. And put it as like the actual effect that happens. But we'll need to import stuff, of course. I'll look at this later. But then it's going to be if there's an effective put damage effect and has marker effect.player. Again, I'm not 100% sure that this should be what it is, but I think it is. I think that's good. So we don't need this. If effect. Maybe we do need that. Hold on. I'm gonna keep it there for a sec. If effect.target is equal to player.active or effect.target is equal to opponent.active, we just want it to do nothing. Like, just do whatever it was going to do in the first place. That seems good. Target player is going to find the owner of the target, so that's right. So we don't really care if Mute is in play, honestly. Yeah, because we already checked if they have the marker, and that is like the condition for this to work. So this doesn't need to be there either. This is checking if the ability is blocked. We don't need that because we're using a marker on this. I'll probably have to change this to like a general marker. I think I was talking to Joe about that, but for now this is fine. I will change it later when we go through and do that. Is it this easy? It is not. So right now we're saying if effect.target is either player's active, then we're going to return state, which means that we're just doing whatever was supposed to happen anyways. We also need to say, didn't I have a thing here? Yeah, so target player, if target player is equal to player, so if that's doing it to their own bench, then we're also going to not care and just let it happen. Otherwise, prevent default. So this is like a kind of universal thing we use to say, just like, don't do this, don't do whatever the effect is. It's on like every effect. That's just a way to block it, basically, without like throwing an error or something. So that should work. If it doesn't, we can fix it. So let's try it out. Index it, of course. So transparent walls, transparent walls. Oh, I'll also do a reprint, I think, just to show you how that works, because that's like dumb easy. It's just that there's a lot of them, so there we go. Now it's going. I'll just add it to here. Is this it? No. Transparent walls. Did I not change the? I bet I didn't change the number. Oh no, I did change the number. It's G2. That's what it is. G2. I guess while I'm waiting for that, maybe I will add. Maybe I'll add a reprint. I don't know which one to do, but we'll find one. Is there a fun one? I guess we can do Mew, the bench barrier one that we were just on. This guy. There's a reprint of this here. This is a Sun and Moon promo. I actually don't know if this is already on. It might be. Bench barrier. It's not. Let's do it. I know it's already started, but whatever. We'll do it now. So I'll find the Sun and Moon promo folder here. Other prints is where this is going to be. This file might not be created for every set. It is for some of them though. So if it's not, you'll just have to create it. But I'm going to do new from, which one do we want to import? Unbroken Bonds. So that's going to pull that in. And then it kind of auto-completed it for me, but you're just adding it a different name to the object. The full name should be good here because there isn't another Mew in the Sun and Moon promos as far as I know. At least right now there definitely isn't. It is wait, it's not number 76. We're looking at the wrong one. It is number 215. So 215. Different places will do it like SM215, like even as the number, which I think is kind of dumb. But I think this is what we need for the Sun and Moon promos. That should work, hopefully. Alright, so that is live. Or not live. But running. So I'll add Mew with bench barrier. I didn't index it. You still have to index it for even if you do other prints. I will add it after this one. Mew. And then it will be Mew. I always forget to index things. Give that a second. And we're good. So we added some transparent walls, which yeah, it's there. And then Mew with bench barrier is probably easier to search. There it is. So I'm gonna throw transparent walls in my test deck. Transparent walls. We don't need this. I'll just make sure. Sometimes to test things, you can change them to basic. I just want to make sure I change this back to stage 2 because it should be. Then what are we going to use to test this? It should be something that does like 10 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, I think. I don't know what that would be. Let's look for one. I literally just want 10 damage to one of your opponent's benched. This is fine. Except it's a stage. Let's do... Oh my gosh. 1. Surely there's something. This will work. Yeah, let's do this. 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I don't know why that was so hard to find. There we go. I'll add the energy for it. Lightning, energy. This one. Then we test it out. So, in theory, when I use that attack and choose a bench Pokemon while Transparent Walls is active, it shouldn't do the damage to the bench. It should just kind of fizzle or whatever. It should do the damage to the active still though. So let's see if it works. I gotta actually find the dude. I'm gonna do computer error. Nest ball for this. Attach. I'll use these. Nope. Never lucky. Computer error. There's like a test card somewhere that you can use. Alright, so let's just test that this works in general. So it should do 50 to, it should do 100 to Shaman due to weakness, and then 20 to bench. Boom, beautiful. Now, if I go into Squawk so this doesn't die, it doesn't really matter, but if I play Transparent Walls, so that goes to this card, like we made it. I should do 100 here, do the weakness, and then I'm gonna choose this as the target, and it should do nothing. Let's see. Okay, so it didn't work. So let's see. My guess is that one of these is wrong. So like, that we're choosing the wrong player here or something. We're adding the marker to the player who used it, which is right. This might be wrong. Let's try this. So let's try saying that wait, hold on. No, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Let's try saying if the opponent doesn't have a marker, then we'll return state. But if they do, it'll go through the rest of this. If target player is equal to, I think this should be opponent now, if we're going to change that up. Target player is equal to opponent. Oh yeah, that should be that, and then that should be, maybe that just didn't do anything effectively, but whatever. If end turn effect okay, I think that should be good. Let's try it. You can also do like console.log stuff. I'm not going to right now, unless this doesn't work either. Ooh. We can just hop into a game because the deck's already built with the things we need to test. You know what would be easier? There's an Ellicott that does like 30 to 1, I think. For no energy. Whatever. It's fine. And we dig for lightning. There's one. Dig. Sure, whatever. Make sure we don't die immediately. And we have a target now. So by default, let's just make sure this does 20 there, 100 there. Beautiful. Retreat. Or actually, let me put this active. Doesn't matter, but whatever. Oh, sorry, I need to play transparent walls here. There. So now, in theory, this does no damage there, and does 50 there. There it is. So now, the real test. After this player's turn over here, that should have removed the marker. So now, if I just go right back and do it again, now it should work. And it doesn't. So if I do it one more time, let's just see. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Whatever. Now if I do it, it still doesn't work, right? I just want to make sure I actually change the turn. Yeah, okay. So that is wrong. So we aren't removing this properly then. So if there's an instance of end turn effect, can you not? Thanks. If there's an instance of end turn effect, why does this not work? If player player can never equal opponent. Duh. So if right now it's just saying if this player is the same as this player, but we're literally getting this player based on this player, so it's going to be like the opponent always. So this can never be true. I will never remove the marker. So this should be if effect dot if the player or no, this should be if the opponent has the marker. Yeah, there we go. If the opponent has the marker, then we remove the marker from the opponent when it's the player's turn. So just to like rephrase that, if it's the end of the opponent's turn, then we'll remove the marker from the player who used the card. I think if they had played the card to begin with, and they have the marker. I think this should work. Let's see. Attach. What's... Oh, we have to dig. There, transparent walls. So now, this should be blocked from the bench. Beautiful. And then if I do it one more time, now that transparent walls isn't active, it should work. Beautiful. There it is. All right. That took longer than expected, but I think watching like the debugging process is kind of good anyway, so kind of happy we did it. It's a little bit of a mess, at least for me. Maybe it's like super simple for other people, but it's always so hard for me to like keep track of who is who when making these types of effects. But whatever. I think that is it then. Again, hope this was helpful. It's kind of like, I don't know, it feels rambly to me, but I don't know. I hope that it helps newer people out when making cards to get to see how the process works. Thank you guys for watching.